Now, the next thing we're debating is actually Johnathon Hankins leaving the Giants. What do you think about Chris?
Hankins.
Yeah, Hankins.
Well, that shows how much I know about him. I'm not really a big Giants fan. Like you.
I should be.
I can see both ways, to be honest. I mean, yeah, you'd like to keep him because they need to keep the defense young. I mean, Eli Apple, bringing him up as a corner and everything like that. I mean, they spent a lot of money last year, $200 million. Just on the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, it paid off in a big way, but
I mean, the main thing he mainly plugged up the defensive line. He kept it there, but then you're losing someone who's big, and it's a bit like when the Eagles lost Benny Logan.
Yeah,
it was someone that he didn't get to the quarterback, but he got like the blocks.
Yeah, I can understand that they'd want to keep him. I mean, they wouldn't want to keep a young, talented defensive lineman. It's a need position, but I mean, you can also look at it as in like they weren't going to pay that much money for him because maybe they didn't think he'd deserve.
And that as well.
I mean, $30 million over 3 years. It's a big risk.
That's what the Colts have paid.
It's a big risk for something like that.
I mean, that's one of the reasons
he hasn't been really consistent, has he? So
that's why one of the reasons why the Eagles didn't pay Benny Logan so much, because all he did was chew the block. So I mean, it's good in the way you can get like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and now Chris Long. I mean, it gets them all, but now we've got Timmy Jerrigan, which is more of kind of Jim Schwartz's scheme: get up to the quarterback, get in his face, and sack. That is what Jim Schwartz's defense is all about, the front four.
But like for the Lions, did he?
Well, no, that's because he's not a head coach.
That's because Ndamukong Suh, he's just off his head most of the time.
Oh yeah, but from the Colts standpoint, it's an absolutely brilliant move because you get like their defensive line isn't exactly solid anyway. So you got your
about 5 players they've signed this offseason just on the defensive line.
I know exactly.
Shows you that they needn't help.
Johnathon Hankins is that kind of guy you can plug in, and he's your main one. He's more of a kind of nose tackle kind of guy, big. He chew the blocks up, and then you get like I mean, what is? I think it's a 3-4 concept, isn't it? I'm sure it's a 3-4. So if you've got your 3-4 nose tackle straight in, get in there, and you can easily chew up two maybe 3, depending on how good he is in the blocks, and you get your linebackers out and try and surround the quarterback and sack him. So if you can bring that aspect into it, it's doing quite good.
The main reason though for why Giants fans should stay hopeful is because I mean you couldn't have lost him to a better team. They didn't lose him to a division rival or a conference rival.
I mean, but to be fair, $30 million.
I mean, I can't remember the Giants' schedule off by heart, but I don't think they're against the Colts this year. So only way they're going to find them is if the Colts come out of that division and if the Giants come out of theirs, which is always a big. NFC East's always up for grabs, isn't he?
I
mean, the Cowboys are probably the favourites going into the season, but
it depends on what they do in the draft with that. But
I'd still say that the favourites going in because I mean they won last year, so they're going to be the favourites. But it always goes one way or the other.
Exactly,
really, doesn't it?
Exactly, but $30 million for 3 years, that's a lot to play just for a defensive lineman. Like that is it, $30 million straight for a defensive lineman. That kind of money's more. That's like $10 million a year. That's
$10 million a year for a defensive lineman.
That.
When the Giants already have an alright defensive line.
Well,
it's not going to. I mean, obviously losing him is a big thing, but it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, obviously.
If they lost them to the Cowboys or a team like that, then obviously it'll come back to haunt them. But I mean,
exactly.
If it's very unlikely that they're going to meet the Colts in the playoffs.
It wouldn't even be in place. So
I don't think they're going to meet them in the Super Bowl.
I don't
see the Giants or the Colts
get into the Super Bowl. No way, no. That won't happen. Sorry, everybody, but it just won't happen. Giants always find a way to screw it up. It's a bit like the Cowboys. But lately, anyway.
Let's face it, the Colts are nothing if Andrew Luck can't stay healthy, and I mean shoulder surgery in the off season.
Exactly. I mean,
that's a big
the
thing.
Colts are starting to get there. My main thing with the Colts is basically Chuck Pagano. The offensive line sucks. The defensive line sucked.
And a quick note for Jim Irsay, get Andrew Luck some protection on that offensive line. Otherwise,
basically,
you're going to waste his career like you did with Peyton Manning. So
I know. I mean, only won 1 Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, but
exactly. I mean,
it's not a lot, really. One Super Bowl would have possibly one of the best quarterbacks to play the game.
How many years was he at Colts anyway? How many years was he at the Colts for?
11?
Something like that, aye. And they won one Super Bowl, yeah. He went to Denver and won one in maybe 3 years.
Exactly.
So, I mean...
He had a long career with the Colts, but it's always been like that with Colts. They've never had a good offensive line. No. It used to be solid with Peyton Manning. They didn't used to be elite, but now it's just terrible. Like, everybody's just jumbling across. No one's looking at there's no communication. The defense is just absolute toss. The only real good player they got on the defense is Vontae Davis, and he's like 31 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So they need to start drafting young. Get rid of Chuck Pagano because he's been doing terrible for ages, and that's it really.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chuck Pagano, but I mean, most teams right now would have moved on from him anyway.
See, for me, I don't think the 3-4 works for the Colts. It hasn't worked for ages.
I don't think anything's working for the Colts. You know?
Well, not really. They've got T.Y. Hilton. He's a good. He's a really good receiver. They got Andrew Luck, who was good, but now he's declining mainly because of the team around him, which is terrible. But I mean, if you bring that Johnathon Hankins in and plug him into the defense,
they're putting way too much pressure on Andrew Luck to carry the team like he did in his first year.
Yeah, I know. You know, but if you do bring that Johnathon Hankins, plug him into the defensive line, put it. I mean, if you're still a 3-4 system, you can have you can draft a good linebackers in the draft. They're not going to be elites, but they'll be there for a good couple of years just to try and make it good enough.
Yeah.
And then you can draft a corner because this draft is filled with corners and safeties and everything. So you can draft, but it's just drafting right. You can't draft something that. I mean, their main focus has to be defense.
It has to be offensive line.
Well, you can get offensive line next year.
No, they need an offensive line right now. Otherwise, this year's practically wasted.
Well, it's going to be wasted anyway.
Well, you never know.
Even if they get a good offensive line, the defense is going to do anything, so he's going to be wasted.
Yeah, no, but if you give Andrew Luck enough protection and everything with that offense that he's got around him, you can put up some high points, some high numbers. You've seen it in the past. So.
Well, yeah, true, maybe.
But yeah, the defense is.
I'm just going to see one where would have drafted really.
The defense is just going to fail.
I mean, defense wins championships. There's never really been an offense that can go in and win a Super Bowl.
No, not without a defense.
You have to have a defense. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah.